Hello and welcome to the Mighty Electronic Box for the 20th of May 2013. All being well, this should be the last two-man show for a bit. John should be with us next week.
Oh,
Say hi,
next week
Brad.
he's back.
I think it is next week.
Ooh, nice, hello.
So, you know the routine by now. What have you been playing, Brad?
What have I been playing?
Tell us.
That's a
Tell
good
us what
question.
you've been playing. Yes.
So my last exam was this week, and I spent like a load of fucking time not revising. And
what are you
not
doing?
Well, it was not revising and not doing anything else, because like after all my previous exams, I was kind of like I'd lost all motivation to actually do anything anymore. Like I just gave up on everything. But the exam was fine, so who cares? It was an exam I wasn't really worried about, which is why. So yeah, I haven't played too much until Friday afternoon/evening when I was finally done with everything and I actually had free time.
Okay.
And since then, I've played a little bit of. A friend of mine is quite into a game called War Thunder. Have you heard of it?
I have not, no.
It's a free-to-play sort of arcadey, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a shooter but planes. Like everyone's flying planes and you just shoot each other.
Okay.
I
can
don't
see how that
really
would
know
be
how.
fun.
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it any way other than that. And the way they monetize it is through like skins for your planes and unlocking unique planes that you can only get if you throw money at it. But it has this interesting thing where like all the planes are tiered by levels, and depending on what level planes you choose to take in with you. So you take in like 5 planes, say, and those act as your lives. And as you pay more credits, you can take in more planes up to 7. But I think the last 2 you have to pay real money for. So you can, for free, you can take in up to 5 planes. And then the plane that you take in that's the highest level is the one that kind of bans which skill cap you're going to be in, if that kind of makes sense. So when you're matchmaking, you're only placed in against people who have similar level planes, because otherwise it'd be completely imbalanced.
Well, you get slaughtered, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no balance between different level planes. It's just these planes are objectively better than other planes. And yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of clever. Like they do the thing where they put the dot in front of the plane that you're trying to shoot to show you roughly where you should be shooting.
Mm-hmm.
If you shoot for too long, your guns overheat and can jam and stuff, and you have to wait for them to reload. If you land on a runway, you repair if you wait long enough and don't get shot by someone, and then you can take off again. So yeah, it was kind of fun just to stick around with. Like I was streaming it for a bit with him, my friend, and we played that for a few hours. And that was kind of fun and different to check out. Kind of reminded me of what was that game that was popular? I think it was on Steam. It was like 2D plane flying thing. Did you ever play that? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now.
I don't think so.
It was like free for a weekend on Steam a long time ago, like maybe nearly even like a year ago. Kind of reminded me of that, but 3D and
that doesn't ring any bells.
Anyway, yeah, so that was that. Not really too much to say other than it's reasonably okay. Like it's not terrible, and it's like it's not like pay to win or anything. Like you're not going to lose horribly if you go up against people who've put money in. It's like cosmetic stuff, so it's worth checking out if you like shooting dudes in planes. And like the flight simulation is very relaxed. As I said, it's very arcadey. Like you can flip your plane upside down and fly upside down for the whole time, which I did for a while, or just wiggle sideways constantly, and it won't crash. But like when you get shot, your like engine can get shot out, or your rudder can get shot out, and you'll just fly in a straight line or something until you crash into something, which is kind of cool. Yeah. I spent a lot of time trying to land and failing, and then I got like 9 clips of myself landing in inverted quotes. So like sometimes if you hit the ground hard enough, you just explode. But if you hit the ground but will like try and land it, even though you've died in the landing, it'll still give you the experience points for landing your plane. So I crashed my plane once, and it came up with the soft landing achievement, even though I was dead.
That seems a bit weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit buggy, I guess, but I don't think that game's... I don't know how long that's been out. It's funny, because I don't know... Have you heard of World of Tanks?
I have heard of World of Tanks.
Yeah, World of Tanks has become pretty popular, I think. Like, it regularly comes quite high on the streaming list on Twitch. And I think there's like a big esports scene for it in Russia or something. Weird like that. And World of Tanks...
That's something that I'd be very interested to watch.
Yeah, it's like... I think it's like really strategic. Like everyone sits still for ages and just kind of camps it out and waits for the other team to move into the wrong place and snipes. Like you have sniper tanks. I did watch a stream for a bit, and this dude was sitting like thousands of meters away from everyone else, just zooming in and popping people through trees. It was really weird, really weird.
I
So
think
yeah.
it's interesting to watch streams in a different language.
Oh yeah, that's amusing. I've done that for StarCraft when like White Ra's playing, and he usually gets casted on like the Ukrainian or Russian streams. And I usually like watching his games, and there's not normally an English cast, so I just kind of have to put up with Russian commentary and try and make out what's going on myself.
You can get a pretty good idea by the gameplay, though. I was watching an archive of I think it was a Japanese or Korean. I think it was Japanese. It was a Tekken Tag 2 stream this past weekend, and like hearing the commentary, like you can get an idea of like what they're referring to.
Yeah.
Like, but you have no idea what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's funny especially when there's terminology that's distinctly English in origin, and they obviously don't have their own equivalent for that because it's something game related. So like when you're watching a StarCraft stream, I think in foreign languages the units do have their own names, but you'll quite often hear them just say like Dark Shrine or something. Like they'll just say it in English rather than literally translate what the words mean. For when they're casting, which is interesting. Anyway, back to the World of Tanks thing. In the World of Tanks, people did a whole line of games. I think they did a sea-based one, like they did World of Boats, but it wasn't called World of Boats. They came up with a better name for it than that. And they also did
World of Boats would have been a great name. What do you think?
That's a shit name. I don't know if that's ever come out yet, or if that was one. They were going to do 3, and the other one they did was World of Warplanes, which unfortunately has the same acronym as World of Warcraft. But never mind. And apparently, the sentiment I got from playing War Thunder was World of Warplanes is shit, and so people play War Thunder instead.
Fair dues.
Which I don't know how they dropped the ball when they seem to have made something pretty popular with World of Tanks, and then I know their plane one is pretty shit, but who knows? Anyway, so yeah, that was that. There's not too much else to say about that. The main thing I've been doing though is I don't know if you saw on Giant Bomb forums, someone posted there was a big Amazon summer PC download sale.
Oh, I saw a couple of things about that, but I missed. I probably missed it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still going. It might be, but it's in America, so obviously we shouldn't really be able to get involved with it. But you can kind of fudge it if you change your billing address to basically anywhere in America.
Oh yeah.
So I looked up an address in Alabama because apparently they have no state tax.
Cool. I did the same thing for the Ninja Gaiden 2 demo when that came out.
Oh really?
Yeah, the Japanese Xbox Live got that demo like I think a fortnight before anybody else. And I just like made a new account and said that I was from Japan and was able to download it and play it. So
that usually works, all right. I think you can even like for demos and stuff like that. Can't you download it and then switch accounts to your normal account and then keep playing it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
You can, yeah.
Because I had people messaging me like, "How the fuck are you playing that?" And to which was the perfect time to use the response because I'm a ninja.
Yeah, obviously.
The game is about a ninja. See what I mean?
I see what you did there.
It's incredibly clever.
Incredibly. Anyway, so I fudged my way through that, and so they had the Grand Theft Auto games on sale, and most of the downloads they do, you can get Steam keys for, which is really nice. There's just an option.
That's cool.
That option along is like get Steam key instead of download direct from then. So they had the GTA games on sale, and I was really annoyed because I missed the GTA sale on Steam that was like a few weeks back. I think they did the whole GTA collection for like 15 quid or something, which is
I remember seeing that.
Insane. But I missed it, and I would have bought that if I had the chance, but I didn't. And so I was kind of toying in my head, like, do I want to get GTA 4? I don't really like GTA 4, but it'd be kind of cool to have it on PC so I can check out the mods. And I knew I wanted to get San Andreas because it's the only one I don't have on PC. And then I was also toying with getting Vice City because it was only $5. And I was like, $5 for the convenience of having it on Steam instead of having to go get my disc out every time I want to play it. Is that worthwhile? In the end,
That's the justification for a lot of my Steam library.
More quicker than getting a disc.
Yeah, like it's awesome. It's just awesome not to have to put a disc in. It's cool. But that being said, I still like having the disc. I'm funny
That's
like
true.
that.
Like my GTA Vice City box is awesome. It like folds out and you get the map in there and everything. And like if it's like you could put 4 DVDs in there, but it only has 2 discs in.
Yeah.
I think that they're CDs, not DVDs as well.
Back in the day.
Needed a
Just
drink.
come on CDs.
Yeah. CDs, motherfucker. Anyway.
What's the size difference between is it? CD is like 900 megs, isn't it? And a DVD is like 4 point something gigs.
A DVD is 4.5 and a CD is about 750 to 790 megabytes, I think. Xbox discs are dual layer DVDs, so they're 9. I don't know how many games come on dual layer DVDs these days, so.
I mean, there's still plenty of Xbox games that are more than one disc, aren't they? Even with that. So.
With the dual layer, yeah, you're right. So I ended up just getting San Andreas, and then what I didn't notice in the fucking small print underneath was, sorry, I'm a bit ill, keep coughing. The thing I didn't notice was that if you buy a San Andreas game, if you buy a Grand Theft Auto game, you get $5 credit to spend on any other any other Rockstar game, on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit, that's sweet, because Vice City is $4.99, so I'll just get that for free. Fucking credit. Guess what? I guess how much it has to be for you to be able to use the $5 credit.
More than $5.
No, exactly $5 or more.
Oh,
and this thing is $4.99. Why can't I just use it? Like, at what point did they go, yeah, we should stop them from using their credit on something that's less than the credit? Like,
because they hate you, man. Because they hate you, Brad. That's why.
The thing that made it most annoying is if I had bought Vice City first, I would have got the discount and then could have used it on San Andreas, and it would have been the same price as just buying San Andreas. And I would have got both of them. But never mind. What can you do? So yeah, I'm not getting Vice City. I just got San Andreas. And yeah, San Andreas is pretty cool. Like, running it at 1080 is really nice. Although, the whole thing where when you're outside in the daytime, in San Andreas they added like loads of like motion blur crap. I don't know if you remember.
No, I to this day have never played San Andreas.
Shit, you should go buy San Andreas right now. Anyway,
like I think like I was thinking about getting it for fucking ages, and like the way my open world game tastes have changed. Like I don't think I would enjoy San Andreas.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. You should just watch speedruns like I do.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. I would question why I can't pick up extremely large objects and throw them at people.
Alright, yeah. This isn't the game that you...
Which I think the next GTA is in desperate need of.
Watching GTA speedruns, I've learnt an awesome glitch. The monster truck, the wheels don't have proper physics. So, like, apparently the way they did the AI for the cars is that the cars just follow a predetermined track or whatever. They know where they're going and so on. And the game trusts the AI not to collide with anything solid at any point whilst it's on its predetermined path. So they don't ever do collision detection on the cars. And what that means is, like, until you go up and touch the car, they're not doing collision detection. And then when you've interacted with the car and messed it up, it starts doing collision detection to make it optimized and run faster. But the monster truck, its wheels don't count as, like, normal objects for collision detection. So if you go drive and put only the wheel of the monster truck on a car, the game is still trusting the AI and not doing collision detection, even though the wheel is resting on the car. And whilst the wheel's resting on the car, it banks all of the force that you're applying to it. So you're like applying force to the car, but it's not doing any collision detection, so the force isn't being exerted. And it just keeps banking and adding it up over time until you then go and interact with the car, and then it applies the force that is added up. So basically you can park a wheel on a car and then go poke the car or get in the car, and it will fling the car thousands and thousands of miles up into the air, and it will take like 5 minutes for it to fall back to the ground. It's absolutely hilarious. And like you can even do it where sometimes it pushes the car so hard the collision detection breaks completely and it just goes through the floor, and you get teleported to a random point like nearby on the map. So you can get teleported from like one side of the town to the other, like instantaneously. Really weird. But kind of cool. So yeah, I brought San Andreas and I've just been dicking around in the beginning of the game, trying to see how hard it is to do what the speedrunner people do, basically. I downloaded like Split program and tried to like match, like see if I could keep up with the times on it, and I was like 30 seconds behind every single split at least. And there's one mission where I can't do the trick where you make the mission end really early. And I spent like an hour trying to learn how to do the trick and never actually quite pulling it off. So yeah, turns out speedrunning's vaguely hard. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, a lot of it's. I mean, as someone who's done speedruns, it is the hardest part is figuring out what you're gonna do. Like the execution is less so.
Yeah. Once you've already spent a long time in the game, I guess you get the feel for it, and that isn't really the problem at that point. But then again, when you're trying to do a single segment run of a 6
Oh yeah, I mean that's like
6-hour run, and
I think single segments are always the most fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that's why you only ever see people watching single segment runs on like Twitch or something, because no one wants to see someone resetting over and over again.
Oh yeah, I mean like edited ones have all that shit taken out. I mean, there's some fucking amazing Resident Evil 4 speedruns out there, like fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Like they're not single segment.
Yeah.
I think the fastest single segment's like 2 hours and something. And the fastest, like, you know, kind of resetted one, for lack of a better phrase, is I think like
segmented.
Yeah, it's like 1 hour 48 minutes, and that's on a fresh save. Like the guy, it's a fresh run. It's not even like a load game.
Really?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Nice.
That was one of the best games for speed running. Like Resident Evil 4 was fucking just. It seemed like made for speed runs. It was so good.
I kind of enjoy sometimes watching those games that have a bit of random number generator in them. Like the AI in GTA is so bad that you can kind of call it random at times. Like, so when you're watching a run and then someone just gets fucked over by a random bit of luck, or like the vehicle spawns as well. Like if you watch a segmented run of GTA, every time the dude goes out of a mission, there'll just be a PCJ waiting there, and he just gets on it and drives off. But if you watch like a real run, you know, they just take whatever they're given, you know, and try and do the best with it. And it's kind of that coming up with strats on the fly and dealing with it. It's interesting to watch with those runs. So I played a few hours of that. Not too much there. I really want to get Metro Last Light. That came out this week, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be buying that next week.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get it.
Fucking wait to play that.
Sorry, 1 second. I think I'll probably get it in the summer, rather than now, because I don't know. I just don't feel like I have the time for that at the moment. Yeah. But what I did do, my cousin has recently got, I don't know why, but he recently got interested in playing the Souls series, you know, Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and he started playing through Demon Souls on PS3. And then, as part of this Amazon sale, Dark Souls was on sale for $7.50 on PC. And he was going to get it, and I was like, well, fuck it. I still haven't managed to complete Dark Souls on Xbox. I brought it with me to uni to try and complete, and it's just sat on my shelf with 24 hours played still, and I haven't really gone anywhere in it. So I said, fuck it, I'll get it. Let's try and do it together. And it turns out that game's a lot easier when you summon people into your world as a phantom and then try and do the bosses. And it's also easier when I already know how to, I know where all the enemies are, and I've done all of it before. So I've kind of been helping him through that and relearning what I thought I already knew. Like the weapon upgrade stuff is crazy. I think we've played about, how much have we played now? Yeah, we played 13 hours, more or less together. And we're just about getting to the point where I'm starting to not know anything anymore, if that makes sense. Like we're getting to the point where I got to already, just kind of rapid. But it's been really fun and different. Like when I played the game before, there's an item you have to use to get summoned into someone's world. There's like not traditional co-op. It's called a white soapstone. You like put your mark on the floor, and then people can summon you into the game. And I never used it because I thought it was a single-use item, and you had to keep buying them to use it every time you wanted to use it. But it's totally not. You can just use it as many times as you want. So we've just been like repeatedly using it and helping each other out, and it's really changes that game. Like it's really interesting and different. And I didn't spend a lot of time as a human. Like when you die in that game, you become hollow, and then you have to offer a humanity to restore, your full humanity, and be able to summon people. But when you're human, you can get invaded by enemy phantoms, like people who just basically want to fuck up your game.
Yeah.
And so there was one time I was helping my cousin, and this is like probably the best story I've got from when we were playing together. There's a bit in the game. I don't know if you haven't played Dark Souls, have you?
No, I haven't. I really want to try them out.
I still think it'd be worth you trying it.
The challenge, yeah, like the challenge kind of. I'm interested to see, but I just don't know if I don't know if it's my kind of game. Like the challenge seems like something I'd like, but whether or not I've got the time to really put into it,
it's a long game. Like,
yeah, it's a different story.
Will be at least 40 hours, I think. It's pretty long. But if you have the time, I think it would be something that you'd enjoy. But anyway, there's a bit where, for people who have played it, there's a dragon on a bridge breathing fire down. Then you go underneath there, and there's a bonfire. And then as you go left, there's like a metal pig that you have to fight, and that goes away. And then you'll know that there's a gate behind that bit that you can open once you've walked all the way around near where the cathedral is with the gargoyles. And the gate that you open is basically like a shortcut, so you don't have to walk all the way around again. And so my cousin had just gotten around there, opened the gate, and I was coming into his world to help him clear out the cathedral, because in the cathedral there's like a semi-boss. It's not actually a boss, but there's a strong enemy that you have to defeat, as well as a mage upstairs shooting down. It's quite a tricky section the first time you get there. And so I walked into his world to help him. As I come in, someone invades his world, an enemy phantom. It was like the first time we'd been invaded. He was like, oh shit. I was quite worried. So I like stood in the way of the dude. We saw him inside the cathedral. And he was coming out the cathedral. And I was distracting whilst my cousin was hiding around the corner waiting to ambush him. And so I stood there waiting for this guy. This guy just stands there, and I totally forgot, but this game has like emoticons. Like you can do these gestures. That's what they call them. You can do gestures by hitting the back button. And so he does this gesture of just like pointing down, like you're going to go down kind of thing. And then I respond with like a bring it on gesture, because I just remembered how to do it at the time that he did it. And then he comes out, fucking kills me in one hit, right? He just instantly slices me in half. He must be like way higher level than we are with much better gear. At that point, my cousin's scared and like runs into the cathedral to try and get away from him. But the guy who's trying to kill him like doesn't actually go to kill him. Instead, he turns around, and as I'm dead and like falling over dying, I can see what he's doing. He walks down the staircase to where the gate is and closes the gate, and then goes and kills my cousin. And my cousin gets walked all the way back to the previous bonfire and now has to go all the way around again. It was fucking hilarious. Just like, it was such a dick move. You could have just killed him, and, you know, it'd have been like, oh, annoying, I've got to go back, and then I'll just kill the enemies and go through the gate. But no, he closed the gate, so my cousin had to go all the way around again and reopen the gate. Oh, it was such a dick move. It was so clever. So clever. Yeah. That was the best story I've got from playing it on the PC. The only other thing to say is that game looks really nice on the PC, but only after you download the mod that fixes the stupid resolution issue.
What's the resolution issue?
It only runs at 720p full screen for God knows what reason.
Is that like a console reason?
Yeah, it was like a...
Yeah,
they basically half-assed the port. They admitted it, because people said they wanted the PC version, but they didn't really know how to make PC games. They just knew they had this Xbox game and they could fudge it onto the PC, so they kind of just did that.
Yeah.
And they didn't really put in any extra effort. I think the keyboard controls are reportedly terrible, so I'm playing with an Xbox controller at depth for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the first game was PS3 exclusive, wasn't it? So
yeah, exactly. They're strongly console developers. It's like really out of their comfort zone putting it on the PC, but they managed to do it, and I think that's good enough on them. And they said they're going to try much harder for Dark Souls 2. But once you download the mod, it like unlocks it so you can run it at 1080p, and it looks so crisp, like compared to the Xbox version. The only problem is it's still like, I think you can unlock it to run at 60 FPS, but it kind of meshes up hit detection sometimes. Like the collision detection breaks at 60 FPS because it's not meant to run at 60 FPS. Yeah. So I think I've still got it locked to 30. And one of the most notoriously bad areas of the game called Blighttown, like even on PC, the frame rate of that tanks. I don't understand what's wrong with that area of the game, but it just tanks your frame rate and there's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of weird. But looks pretty, so that's good.
That sounds more like a bug, I guess, than like a legitimate performance thing.
I'm really not sure what it is. It must be something to do with the draw distance, because a lot of that game has a really huge draw distance. Like you can see, like there's no loading screens between any parts of the world. It's just like go, and it just you can see from one side of the world to the other at some points, and it's insane. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I played.
Cool. Sounds like a good week.
More like a good last 3 days.
Well, it sounds like that's definitely good for 3 days. That's more than I played in 3 days' time. What did I play this week? I only really played two things. A friend of mine at work lent me his Move for PS3.
Woo!
and he has like the gun housing for the move ones, so you can put it in. It's basically a light gun, turns into a light gun pretty much.
Sweet.
And I tried a bit of Killzone 3 on that because he's played it. He plays Killzone 3 with the move, like that's how he plays the game.
Okay.
Yeah, like he prefers it, like he's adapted to it. That's not going to be me. I tried it with the move, and it's kind of it's weird because like shooting wise, once you sync up the controller properly, like once you kind of the default sensitivity for it is really really low. I think I've pretty much had to put it on max for it to feel like it could keep up with like when I was aiming at something, it would actually go there immediately. So like the default sensitivity is pretty low. But in terms of actually shooting enemies, it is a lot better, obviously, because you've got kind of a more direct control over where you're aiming. So once you've zoomed in, you can just mop up dudes with headshots in like a blink of an eye. The thing where it really just doesn't work is the movement. Like you hold the move controller. It's in the shape of like a machine gun, so it's like got a handle. The underside of the stock and like the barrel per se is where like the wand of the move goes. And like the underside of the barrel, there's like this like diagonal attachment, and that's where the movement controller of the move goes. It's got the analog stick on it, the trigger, L1 and X and circle, and the D-pad.
Yeah.
So you use that to move around, and obviously you move the gun to aim, which is the most awkward thing ever. It just, I mean, I'd be really interested to play with him using the move and like just to see how he does, because I'd be really interested to see him play with the move.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how he does it. I couldn't fucking do anything. Like there was one bit I was just like playing a chapter in single player, and I was just trying to run up a flight of stairs, while turning round, and you just end up like looking up to the right and like falling over yourself and not being able to do anything. So yeah, I don't think that is the future of first-person shooters. Sorry for everybody who thought differently, but hey, maybe I'm just too old and have been playing them with a controller for too long. But yeah, so that was Killzone 3. That did actually result in me playing a fair amount of Killzone 3 though, and that game is really really good. I always think Killzone is one of the most underrated franchises ever, to be honest. I think Killzone is really fucking good. Yeah, just played a fair amount of the campaign. That has got one hell of a different like approach than 2 had. 2 was very much about like the weight of the weapons and like I don't want to say realistic, but they definitely went for like the absolute opposite of the now dominant like Call of Duty approach, where like your weapons weigh like less than a bag of sugar, and you can just fucking move at the speed of light, and like in that game, like if you were holding an LMG, like you felt like you were holding a machine gun with like a box of 100 rounds in it. Like it had real weight to it. And one of the things I really did like about Killzone 3 was they managed to keep that sense of weight, but they increased the speed quite a bit. It's considerably faster and it plays at a much quicker pace, but they still keep that feeling of just weight and impact behind every single weapon. And just that game just looks really fucking good still. Like that is an absolutely phenomenal looking game.
That's cool.
It's really just filthy. Has a good like grimy look to it, but not grimy in the sense that we just turned off like all but 3 colors. Like it's it has a real rough look to it. I just really love the look of that game.
They only know the color brown.
Yeah, like that's got Killzone 2 was pretty guilty of that, to be fair, but Killzone 2 looked really nice. But yeah, Killzone 3 is like, yeah, we have some colors here, and they do some pretty interesting things with like setting up some more stuff of like the planet you're on, and like there's this really weird section. I kind of forgot that it was in the game. There's this weird stealth section, not too far into the campaign. You're kind of camped in like on the ISA. For those who don't, that's like the good guys of Killzone, basically. They are not the space Nazis. And you go through this like the Hellgas like on the verge of finding you, and you go through this like swamp/marshland with all these like really fucked up like neon-looking hostile plants that kill you, and these like really weird like full armored like stealth like assassin troops from the Helghast that look fucking awesome. Yeah. And it's just a really well-made segment, and it's just really weird. Like they do some really weird things with like giving more information, but not really giving any information, if that makes sense. You're just kind of left to make up your own decision. It's like, yeah, all this shit looks really cool, but I probably shouldn't think about it too much. But yeah, so Killzone 3 is really, really good. I don't know what they're going to do with... It's not called Killzone 4. I can't remember what it's called now.
Isn't it? Oh,
no, it's called Killzone. It's the subtitle version. God, what is that called? Anyway, yeah, no idea what they're going to do with that. The one downside to that game, I guess, is that it's only really got the gameplay going for it. Playing it again, like, every single fucking voice actor is just phoning it in, like, really, really noticeably as well. Like, it feels like, you know, the people, like, directing or whatever, the cinematics and that, like, because it's not a cheap thing to do, like, the cinematics and stuff in that game. And you would have thought they'd have wanted better takes from the actors in it. Like, it's really, really shitty voice acting for the most part. And characters that are just, like, not even 2D. They're, like, 1.5D. Really terrible. But gameplay-wise, really fucking solid. If you want an awesome shooter, you just go play that. And moving more my time with the Move, I finally got a chance to play Dead Space Extraction on the PS3 with the Move.
Oh.
Because I own the PS3 version of Dead Space 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shocker for most people, I bet. Yeah, and I was waiting for to see a move at the right price.
Do you own every version of Dead Space 2?
I certainly do. I own the 360 version, I own the PS3 version, and I own the PC version of Dead Space 2.
Knew it.
Because, dude, I don't know if I've said this before, but Dead Space 2 is pretty good.
Did I ever tell you I got Dead Space 3, Joe?
You did, and God, I need to play more of that game.
I need to download that game, so maybe in the summer.
Yeah, we should definitely
play
some Dead Space 3.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And yeah, Dead Space Extraction. I've played the first 2 chapters of that. One thing about the Move I'm pretty critical of. It's not very comfortable to use. I didn't find it very, my right hand ached after 1 chapter, which is the reason I've only played 2 chapters. It just doesn't feel right to hold it. You know what I mean? Which is weird, because I remember marathoning Point Blank for fucking hours at a time. But yeah, I don't know. The Move just not comfortable for really long sessions. But yeah, Dead Space Extraction is pretty good. I'm quite liking that game. It does some pretty interesting things with it being essentially a rail shooter. Your item stuff is all kind of assigned to you have your kind of designated action segments where dudes are coming at you. You need to shoot these dudes, and then when that bit's over, you kind of have your cinematic segment where you're moving through the environment, and that's where all the items are. They'll be dotted around the environment, and you kind of have to just scoop them up with your kinesis module, which is on the left trigger. Again, on the Move controller, that's on the actual movement controller wand. You just tap the left trigger. Or on the gun attachment, there's a secondary trigger right under the trigger. You can use that, but I prefer using the left
Double trigger.
Double trigger, yeah. It's actually got 3 triggers, so it's triple trigger technology.
Well, tell me when it has quad, and then I'll be down.
I will. I will be sure to do that.
I'm only interested in quad.
There probably is a Move attachment with an extra trigger, but hey.
What would it do?
I don't know. Alt fire. I kind of wish that's
Select.
what the alternate trigger did, because that leads me to another point, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, and it's a pretty cool way of handling the items, because you can as you're moving away, you're trying to focus on how fucking terrible. You're trying not to focus, I should say, on how fucking terrible the voice acting and story is for the most part so far. Seriously, the first chapter was fucking the worst voicing and performance I've ever heard, in a recent game ever. It was so bad, almost made me stop playing it. It's just, if you play it, you'll know what I mean. I can't really describe it, but it's just really terrible. But yeah, and like that's how the upgraded weapons are handled. Like you kind of have to spot like your item like on the floor and like scoop it up with your kinesis, otherwise you'll miss it. So like you don't get the traditional like upgrade bench and like nodes and stuff how you do in Dead Space 1 and 2. There's no like money system or anything like that. And you pick up all your weapons on the fly. Like when you kill enemies, they'll drop stuff, but you have to like use your kinesis. You pretty much, it got to the point where when I was actually fighting enemies, I was pretty much just like pressing the kinesis button over and over and over again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's like I'm not going to bother looking for items. I'm just going to keep hammering this trigger and pick up everything anyway. Which is kind of defeats the point of it in a way, but it's pretty cool. I do miss being able to like use kinesis as a weapon. In the late, I mean, they didn't really do much with that in the first Dead Space, but Dead Space 2 and especially in Dead Space 2 more so really, in Dead Space 3, being able to like pull off the limbs of necromorphs and use them as bullets was really awesome, and being able to like throw things at them to stun them was pretty cool. And you lose the ability to do that, which is something I do kind of miss. Like that's a pretty core thing of Dead Space for me. Stasis is just on the D-pad, so like when you're aiming at a dude, you just like tap up on the D-pad and you'll stasis the dude, and that's pretty much nothing new. That's how stasis functions in every other Dead Space game. The only gripe I've got with the controls is the alternate fire, because you've played Dead Space 1, haven't you, or 2? Yeah, okay. Really, really straightforward. It's the other fucking trigger for alternate fire. Like you press a button, and I mean on the controller, like for Dead Space 1, you press your alt fire button and you have alternate fire.
Do you?
Yeah, you do. Trust me.
I thought, am I getting confused? So bear with me a second.
You probably are getting confused. Yeah.
You can rotate the thingy.
Well, it's different for every weapon. The plasma cutter, the right bumper will rotate the angle of the bullet.
Yeah.
On the line gun, it will fire. Its primary fire is
so it's not a different trigger. It's just the button above the shoot trigger.
Yeah, but it's the other trigger, really, because I mean that's what I'm thinking of. You know how you hold a controller. You have your two, like you have your index finger and your middle finger. It's kind of what you use.
Oh, right. Okay, I thought you meant the left trigger, and I was like, no, that's aim, and I got confused.
Oh, right. No. Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like it's the other button on the right on whatever side of the controller you're using.
I know what you mean now.
Now, you would think, correct me if I'm wrong, you would think with the Move controller having a separate fucking trigger, that's what your alternate fire would be. You would think that, right? That's not just me.
Of course.
Yeah, it's not. You have to rotate the controller to the side to do your alternate fire, which is the dumbest fucking thing ever.
But it's like realistic. It's like you're twisting the end of the...
No, it's dumb. It's terrible. Because I gotta admit, the main reason I don't like it is because I feel like a fucking dumbass that's like holding his gun on the side to be cool, and I fucking hate that. That's one of the main reasons I don't like it. The other reason is because it's fucking stupid, and there's a separate goddamn trigger on the controller. And you can't customize the controls either. So you have to just use that way of doing it, which is really shitty. But other than that, I mean, that's my only real complaint with the game, to be honest. It's a really good way of like doing a different Dead Space game. I know it was originally a Wii game, and that's like largely the reason for it. But if you like Dead Space and you like killing necromorphs and dismembering people to kill them, you should probably play it.
I do like dismembering people, and so I do it all the time.
So do I. It's quite a hobby of mine. It's amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
Do you have SOCOM?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've never played a SOCOM game.
I have. I played. Which one did I play? I quite enjoyed one of them for a while. But I remember that being like a big game for the Move, like when it was coming out.
There's not really many big games for the Move, is there?
No.
I mean, there's just not really. I mean,
what about that Joust game where you try and hit people with chairs?
I don't know what that's called.
Is that Johann Sebastian Joust, or is that something else?
I don't know. I know of one move game, and that's the fight with Danny Trejo in it. That's the only move game I know of. And that's it. Purely because of the giant bomb quick look, which was hilarious.
Johann Sebastian Joust. Everyone has move controllers, and you have to keep it upright. If you tilt it, you're out. But you don't use a TV screen. You just have to try and get everyone else to tilt their controller without tilting yours.
That sounds like the worst game ever.
Seems pretty cool.
Fair enough.
You just have to fuck other people up.
Fair dues. Anyway, that's pretty much all I played this week. I did dabble in a bit of Arkham City to test some recording stuff. That game is still amazing, but at the same time a broken piece of shit. So we can move on from that. Let's talk about some news, shall we? Because we actually have some news this week. There's quite a good amount of news. And speaking of Batman. Speaking of the man of bats, there was an Arkham Origins teaser trailer that I imagine most people have probably seen because it's awesome.
No.
Well, you should watch it because it's really cool. It's Batman being Batman, and if my DC comic information is correct, which it probably isn't, so I apologize, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's Batman fighting Deathstroke in really awesome. That CG where you look at it and you're not sure if it's CG and you're like, is this real? No, this is CG. No, this is real. I don't care. And then the trailer ends. It's that kind of CG, the really good kind. But anyway.
Is it 41 seconds?
Yes, that sounds about right.
Okay, Batman's fighting a dude.
Yeah, that's Deathstroke.
Punched a dude in the face. There was a sword, and now it's ended. Okay.
I only know that's Deathstroke because of Injustice. That's the only reason I know that. But anyway, the full trailer for that will be coming out tomorrow. Well, probably out by the time you hear this. On May 20th. And the release date is at the end of the trailer, which is nice. 25th of October. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I think more Batman is cool. And I just hope they do it more Arkham Asylum than Arkham City. That's kind of my only hope for that game. I'm sure it'll be fine. And in other release news, speaking of Injustice, I suppose this kind of fits. Injustice was the top selling game of April in the US. You might be surprised to know.
Yes.
Which, I don't know why, but I kind of am. I'm really surprised at how that game is taking off, especially sort of in the competitive fighting game scene. A lot of people are picking up Injustice. Which is strange because it's from the MK developers, and MK is really looked down on in terms of competitive fighting games. So that's because people are fucking stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. But seriously, I don't know. MK has its problems, but it's weird that the game from that developer is getting a hell of a lot more buzz than most recent fighting games have. Tekken Tag 2 came out and people were like, yep, this is Tekken, moving on. Which I was kind of bummed about, really. I was hoping Tekken Tag 2 would really kind of...
Is there anything really that different about Injustice?
I haven't played it enough to really have an informed opinion. I've played it kind of just dicking around with characters in training mode. I'm probably the wrong person to ask as well. I've been playing MK for 2 years, so to me there are a lot of really different little things that are different that make it play different enough for MK. But for people that just play it for shits and giggles, it's probably very similar. The jump and punch combos, the juggle system, it's the meter system. It's probably very similar for people who haven't played a ton of Mortal Kombat. But for people that have played a lot of Mortal Kombat, it is different in some key ways. My biggest problem with Injustice still is the way the jumps work. I hate the way jumping feels in that game. It just doesn't feel right at all to me. It feels way too loose and you haven't got a lot of precision on your jump, and I really don't like that. But anyway, long and short of it, Injustice is doing really, really well. So that's good. That's good news, because hopefully that means we'll get another game from them, and I really hope it's Shaolin Monks too, because Shaolin Monks was fucking amazing. I don't know if you ever played that at all.
No.
Man, you should play that game. That game is fucking awesome. That is legitimately one of the best Mortal Kombat games. Shaolin Monks. That game is fucking cool. Anyway, moving on to completely unrelated news. How do you feel about an Assassin's Creed film?
As I said before we started, it's literally the only thing about Assassin's Creed that I would even want to see anymore. Yeah. I'm done with Assassin's Creed games, but a film, sure, why not? Give me some Ezio. I don't know. Sure.
I don't know about Ezio in a film.
Why? He's like the only charismatic character that they've got in the series. So
haven't we had enough of Ezio though?
Yeah, but fuck it. I read the fucking book for Assassin's Creed 2. If they want to turn Assassin's Creed 2 into a movie, they probably could, and it would be okay.
It'd probably be better than any game that's come since then.
Yeah. Well, except for Brotherhood, because Brotherhood was the shit.
Yeah, 2's still better, though. Let's be serious here. 2 is the best.
I got the fucking feathers in 2. That is a testament to how good that game is.
2 is the best Assassin's Creed game. That is fact. That is undisputable. But yeah, it's rumoured for, I think, May 2015 release, and Michael Fassbender is somehow maybe attached to it. That is like just pure speculation at this point. He might be in it, or, a producer or something.
Yeah.
He might have something to do with that film. So, there you go. And there's another Assassin's Creed game coming out this year and next year.
No, there isn't.
Fucking forever.
That game's dead to me.
They keep making them.
The fact that it's coming out doesn't mean it exists.
You're a pirate.
Existence is relative.
Existence is admittance, and therefore it does not exist. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, let's talk about a game that I don't really care about, for a change.
What? Okay, Pokemon. Yeah, I fucking love Pokemon.
I do care about Pokemon.
I didn't know you cared about Pokemon. I thought you didn't.
Pokemon Blue. No, I just haven't since that. It's been a while. Gears Judgment is getting some DLC.
Is that what that's called? I thought it was called like something beginning with R.
No, it's Gears of War Judgment, the new Gears of War game. The fuck bad Gears of War game. That's what it's called.
If they just called it Gears of War Bad, it would have been better.
That's what they should call it.
I like Bad. Fuck you.
No, he's a fucking douchebag.
That's why we have this argument every episode.
The game should have been like about Cole, because the Cole Train is
motherfucking Cole Train.
Cole Train is the best character in the Gears of War universe.
Cole Train, motherfucker.
Although I do quite like Hoffman as well. Hoffman's pretty cool. Anyway. Hoffman, he's the fucking like lieutenant in the first game, like the old man with the cap on.
I didn't play Gears 1 and he was barely in Gears 2.
He's basically the Full Metal Jacket guy of Gears, but not quite as funny.
All right.
Cool. Anyway, Gears Judgment DLC. 4 new maps, which I'm counting as 3 new maps because one of them's Checkout from Gears of War 3, but hey.
Isn't 4 new maps more maps than they put in the game in the first?
Yes, it is. I think I haven't played it, but I know a lot of people that have. And I think it shipped with 4 maps.
Sweet, doubling that map count.
Yes, doubling the map count with the first map pack. So the new mode I think is called what was it? Breakthrough mode. It's basically capture the flag, but they're calling it something different. From the sounds of it, one team has to like capture something, the other team has to stop them doing it. That's capture the flag. Like you can call that whatever you want.
Do they have to get it and take it back to their base?
I have no idea. I got kind of bored and stopped reading it after.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm still bummed that there is a new Gears of War game out that I just really could not give a shit about. Like, I would like to play some new Gears, like a new spin on it or something. But I fucking hate Baird, and the changes they've made to the multiplayer just, I want nothing to do with that. So anyway, moving on. How do you feel about Metal Gear, Brad?
Impartial.
How do you feel about Metal Gear of the Solid variety?
I've never played one.
You've never what?
I've never played a Metal Gear game.
You're fucking insane.
I don't own a PlayStation. Why would I ever have played a Metal Gear game?
Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are available on the Xbox.
Yeah, but they're old.
Your argument is invalid.
Old.
So? Tetris is old.
Oh, yeah, I don't really like Tetris that much either.
Okay, I'm going to slap.
I mean, I appreciate Tetris. That doesn't mean I want to go play it right now.
Is it because you're bad at Tetris?
I'm okay at Tetris.
Most people I know that don't like Tetris, it's because they're bad.
I don't dislike Tetris. I never said I dislike.
Feel bad as human beings.
I can Tetris. I can survive most of Tetris. I can't win Tetris.
Are you pro T-spin?
No, I can't. I don't know if I've ever played a Tetris that has T-spin. Did the Game Boy one have T-spin?
Oh no, that's way too old to have T-spin in it.
Yeah, like Game Boy Tetris is the only Tetris I played, so I have never T-spun.
Okay, that was like the only game I had on my Game Boy Color for like.
I liked
years.
that game. That game was good. But that doesn't mean I want to go and fucking play the original fucking Tetris on the Game Boy.
You are an insane person. Anyway, the Metal Gear Collection is delayed until July of this year.
Well, shoot me.
I mean, what can you do? I'm pretty disappointed actually because I looked at the list of games that are in it and I'm kind of bummed now. I think it's. Let me pull up the article actually because I want the full list because it's not the. I don't think they've included, the best ones they could have in this list. The main reason for that is because they haven't put fucking Twin Snakes in it. Because, god damn it. Here we go. You get Metal Gear Solid 2 HD Edition, so I'm assuming that is just the PS1 version of Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 3 HD Edition, and you get the original MSX versions of the first two Metal Gear games. You get Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker HD Edition, and Metal Gear Solid VR Missions, and Metal Gear Solid 4 Trophy Edition. There is some... I mean, unless that Metal Gear Solid VR Missions is like the expansion packs of Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, and 3, they really fucked up by not including those in there. Like,
yeah,
that's like thousands of hours of content and shit. Oh no, the VR Missions is the first expansion pack, so that should include the rest because I think the HD editions of 2 and 3 have them in, if I remember correctly. I can't remember what they're called now. I think Metal Gear Solid 2's was Substance and 3 was Subsistence. A word that I really can't say. So, moving on. That's delayed until July. More Metal Gear news, though. This is awesome for fans of awesomeness. Metal Gear Rising was confirmed for the PC. Oh, I'm so glad about that. Because
yes.
Just games like that just are so much better on PC.
Are you going to play with an Xbox controller, though?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be crazy. But I'm referring to, solid 60 frames a second, looking way better, more responsive controls, just, it's amazing. That was the thing as well. I actually went back and tried to play Arkham Asylum on the 360, and oh my god, I almost fucking hurled. That game is fucking ugly as fuck on the 360. It's really grainy and shitty. And really sluggish and crappy controls. Oh, speaking of the 360, did you hear about the new 360 rumor that was immediately busted? Which was pretty funny.
No, I didn't. You mentioned it earlier, but I haven't found it.
There was a rumor that there was going to be a new 360 come out before the new Xbox, redesigned form factor. Basically, going to be a smaller 360 with a redesigned controller. It was going to come out, I think, sometime in August.
Mm-hmm.
This was immediately confirmed in air quotes, take it with a pinch of salt, that this is actually referring to the new Xbox. It's not referring to the 360. So,
okay.
The new Xbox is going to be smaller, is the gist of this story, I think.
Oh, okay. All of that refers to the new Xbox.
Yeah.
So the new Xbox is going to have a different controller and be smaller than the current Xbox.
I don't know if it'll be smaller than the current one. I mean, size doesn't really mean fuck all, but...
It'll be smaller than it was when we originally planned it, but you have no idea how large we intended.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. That's the dumbest.
It does make no sense. But the most important thing of this is the words redesigned controller.
Are you sure you've read this article right?
I'm sure.
Because at the bottom it says, an earlier version of this story stated the rumor smaller and denser Xbox console was the Xbox 720. GameSpot regrets this error.
Yeah, that's the article I'm referring to.
Yes, did you listen to what I just said?
Yes.
It said it was a 720, but it's not. It's actually the 360.
That's what I just said.
What? You just said it was the 720.
Did I say it backwards?
I think you said it backwards. I got really confused.
Oh, yeah. I said, okay, sorry. No, that's not what I meant to say if I said it backwards.
Either that or I just went full retard. I don't know. Something weird happened.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, my point is, yeah, redesigned controller is the main thing I really.
How did you redesign the Xbox 360 controller?
Yeah.
What?
Why would you do that?
What?
Why would you redesign that controller?
What? I don't know.
All you need is a decent D-pad.
Who described the new controller design as flattened? But I like that it's the right size. Don't change it, you pricks.
I like it being thicker. This also does make me wonder about the implications it does have for whatever they're going to call the new Xbox. Because if they're redesigning the 360 controller,
yeah,
surely they're not going to use like basically another version of the 360 controller for the new Xbox.
No,
they're probably not. So,
well, yeah. If they're redesigning the 360 controller, you would have thought they'd be bringing it in line with. But no, they said the 360 controllers won't carry over, didn't they?
In that article, or just...
No, previously, I'm pretty sure they said the 360 controllers won't work with the new console. Or was that played? No, I'm pretty sure I heard that.
I imagine that's nothing a third.
I imagine that's probably going to be true.
I mean, you can use PS2 controllers on the PS3.
Can you? How?
Very easily. Just buy like a £6 converter off Amazon.
Yeah, but that's PlayStation. You know what Microsoft are like.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I can use my 360 controller on my PlayStation with the same converter, so it's all good.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is a bit weird. I'm not surprised they're doing it, but
no,
I don't really see who this is aimed at. And it seems like they've left it a bit late. When did like the spindle version of the PS3 come out? Was that like near the end of last year?
Yeah, I think so.
So this is basically the same as that, but it's like 2 to 3 months before the new console.
Pretty much. It seems weird, but didn't Nintendo do more or less the same thing?
Oh yeah, they did. They put out the like that mini Wii.
Although I don't think that released globally, but
no, it didn't. I think that only released in, was it North America and Canada? I think it came out. I'm not sure.
I think it came in Canada and Europe actually. I don't think it came out in North America.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this story makes more sense in some ways referring to the next Xbox.
It must be related, right? I don't know. We're going to find out tomorrow, so everything we say today is irrelevant.
True. This is very true. We should just edit this out.
Yeah, we probably should.
Anyway, moving on. Speaking of console news, EA took some pretty blatant shots at the Wii U. I think you saw this too, right?
It wasn't them taking shots. It was just them saying, we've cancelled all our projects because...
Oh, didn't you see the tweets from some...
Okay, that wasn't EA. That was an EA employee, I think.
Oh, yeah, I know. EA engineer, apparently. He's not impressed. Yeah, I mean, they're like killing all support for the Wii U, which is not really a big...
Basically, they came out publicly and said, we're not making any Wii U games at the moment. We cancelled the ones we were. We're not saying we won't ever make Wii U games, but we're not doing it at the moment. And then on the back of that, recently, an EA engineer tweeted, it looked like it was written by a 10-year-old who was trying to incite console wars, but he tweeted saying, the Wii U is worse than the 360. Which it's true. Like, have you seen games running on that thing? I reckon it probably is weaker than the 360. Doesn't surprise me. But he's getting fired. He's getting fired.
Yeah, they probably will be. There must be set in stone specs for that somewhere though. I haven't really cared enough to look.
I'm sure if you went on that website that breaks down like frame data, I'm sure they have the information, but I can't remember what that website's called.
Anyway,
who cares?
Not doing great.
Hopefully Nintendo survive. I don't know.
I mean, I don't really. I'm not that fussed because I don't play anything that Nintendo make anymore. So, but at the same time, I think purely for the sake of having, if Nintendo go, then you're down to Sony or Microsoft, and then that's just not good. Like the less variety you have, the worse it's going to be. Mm-hmm. That's never going to be a good thing.
Indeed.
So for the sake of just keeping them there to be like, the number 3 company, then yeah, like I don't want them to go either.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of EA, some good news on the surface, but you mentioned something that I do agree with before we started. They're ditching online passes for something that will probably be far worse.
Well, they didn't explicitly come out and say that. They just said, online passes, you guys don't seem to like them, so to try and repair our PR, we're going to get rid of them. And then didn't say what they're going to do instead. There's no way
they're going to
just let that go. They got something else up their sleeve. I reckon, you know what it probably is the new consoles already have some baked in pre-owned stuff, so they don't need online passes anymore. I reckon, at least with Microsoft, maybe with Sony as well, there is already some kind of, you punch in a key to play this game, or it's linked to your account when you use it, so they don't need online passes anymore. So it sounds good at the moment, but ain't gonna last.
Yeah. I don't really care. I don't play that many EA games, to be honest. Like, Dead Space is pretty much it at this point.
Yeah.
But
I don't care because I never buy pre-owned, so...
Yeah, me neither. I can't remember the last time I bought a pre-owned game.
Just wait for it to be on sale. Why would I buy something pre-owned?
Yeah, pretty much.
My friend.
And final piece of news. This is.
I have one more actually. But
Oh, okay. Well, you can go after this. This is just an announcement, really. Gran Turismo 6 was announced for the PS3.
Yeah, I saw that. That's weird.
How
many years till that comes out?
I don't think it's that weird at all. It's there's God knows how many millions of PS3s out there. Gran Turismo 5 did really, really well, like in retrospect, when you think about it.
No,
I mean, just sales-wise, it sold a fucking shit ton.
I don't think it did.
Look up.
That's where people said it sold poorly compared to their PS2 entries.
Oh yeah, but that's because at the time Gran Turismo came out on the PS2. If you wanted a racing sim, you bought Gran Turismo or you didn't have one. So like you just had more competition. And from what I've heard, like Gran Turismo 5 wasn't particularly good. So the fact that it sold well is, as I said, in retrospect, did fairly well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it apparently exceeded 10 million units. So yeah,
that's pretty good for a game.
I read that it didn't do well.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually done any research.
Then again, though, actually, I was just looking it up now. Like ratings-wise, it did really fucking well. So who knows? Anyway, Gran Turismo 6. This made me think of actually. What's going on with that Project Cars on PC?
So yeah, it's funny. I actually posted in that thread. Actually, no, it was the Grid thread. People are talking about Grid 2. It's funny. Mm-hmm. Someone posted a thread about Grid 2, and like the second response to it was a whole, no cockpit view, what the hell? Which has obviously been known for ages because they announced that ages ago. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thread just evolved again, like the last Grid 2 thread, into people bitching about knowing cockpit view. I mean, I'm on board with that. That's retarded. They shouldn't have removed it. 5%. One of my favorite responses was, only 10% of people finish games. Does that mean we should stop putting endings in games because not enough people see them? Which amused me. But
going by most game endings, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
The game just suddenly opens up and it just carries on. Like, well, nothing's happening. What's going on? Anyway, I posted a trailer in there from ages ago from Project Cars of this is called like the 5, and it was just basically a parody of like loads of in-cockpit views edited together, and then it just says we are the 5%, and this is Project Cars. I quite like it. But Project Cars is still in development. Like, it was meant to come out around this year, or at least that was their original idea. But I think their release date, at least on Giant Bomb's, been pushed back to 2014, and I have no idea what platforms they're planning to release on. They were originally aiming for 360, PS3, and PC. Obviously, the PC version is the only one in development, and I was
going to say the PC version sounds far more likely, going by what I've seen of that.
I mean, they might be transitioning to next gen. I don't know, because their development process seems to have been slow, and they were also hampered by. So I don't know if you know how they're operating their business, but they're doing a kind of thing where the community can submit car models and such. So like it's really weird that when you buy the game at the moment, when you buy into the beta, they have like different tiers of buying in, and like the lowest one's like $10 or something, and that just gets you access to monthly builds, and then it ramps up. But eventually you get to a point where you can submit content, like you can act as almost like a shareholder in the game, and you also get like some influence on the creative direction of the game. by submitting assets or requesting, tracks or cars or features and stuff like that. And I think at a certain point, like, you are meant to get money back once you put enough money in, or if you submit assets and stuff, and they actually end up using them in the full game. And the problem with that is they got clamped down on by some law, like they were running some kind of, money-making scheme kind of thing. And they ended up in like some court, because proceedings, they were getting investigated and they had to shut down their pre-orders. Like, there was a time where you couldn't upgrade your package to a higher level. So I actually went back. I was going to go upgrade mine to a full one, so I got the full version of the game when it comes out, which is like the $35 tier, and I couldn't. It was just like, we're not selling at the moment. We're not allowed to. So I don't know whether they've overcome that hurdle, because I'm sure that slowed them down even more. But as far as I'm aware, that's still in development, and every time I boot it up, it always has new content patches, so I don't really know what's happening with that.
Well, I guess that pretty much does us for news, apart from your final thing.
The only other thing I want to say is, over the last week, Nintendo has enforced copyright claims on Let's Play videos, which means any person doing a Let's Play of a Nintendo product will now not earn ad revenue. Like, you're not allowed to earn ad revenue. If you Let's Play something made by Nintendo, they will put adverts on your video. There's nothing you can do about it, and they take all the money for it. And there's been a lot of argument going back and forth as to, who owns... Obviously, I guess technically Nintendo own the game, but do they own footage of the game? Like, your gameplay? Like, your actions in the game? And, like, there's loads of people with bullshit arguments. Regardless of the, whoever owns it or what the legal ramifications of it are, I just think it's a really stupid idea from Nintendo.
It is a very stupid idea, yeah. I remember, this reminds me of something back when I was playing, well, I mean, I still play it every now and then, but like back when I was playing Ninja Gaiden like competitively, and there was the disclaimer that comes up every single time you boot up that game that basically tells you, like, you're not allowed to record this game and put that footage anywhere. Like, every single time you boot it up. And I remember, like, it was on the forum, and it was about 3 years into the game, and there was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos out there. And someone posted it, and like, it was the first time anyone ever really noticed it, and we were like, oh yeah, shit, all of these videos are technically illegal. Like, we shouldn't have done this.
That's funny.
And yeah, like, they quite evidently didn't give a shit. Because I mean, it's a way to get your game more notice, really. I mean, it's it's a way to get it publicity, but yeah, that's really stupid. That doesn't benefit anybody. Like,
Total Biscuit, in his latest, I don't know what you call it, podcast or whatever he did, he went through it and talked about the legal ramifications a bit more than what I know, and also talked about, the social impacts of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he also went through their official statement of what they said when they were coming up with this and pointed out a few interesting things. Like, one of the things I thought that was quite interesting that he said was that Nintendo seemed to, like, not understand what they're getting involved with, like, from the tone of the press release that they said. So basically, there was a part of it that said something along the lines of, oh, at least we're not, this is obviously like the gist of it, not actually what they said, but they said, at least we're not blocking you from uploading videos at all, unlike on some other companies. And when you think about that, like, no other video game companies block you from uploading their game, so they must have been talking about other forms of media. So, like, Nintendo clearly think they're coming across as the good guys here by not banning the content entirely, like you have with films and music. You're not allowed to upload films and music to YouTube because that's dumb. That's the content. There's nothing else to it. So Nintendo seemed to, like, not understand how there are people out there who make their living from uploading these videos, and some people who make their living off of just uploading Nintendo videos, and now have, like, no way to do that anymore. And those are the kinds of people that are the hardcore Nintendo fans, are the people getting excited about Nintendo games. And those are the kinds of people they're pushing away from creating that content and creating that hype about Nintendo stuff. And I don't know, it's one of those slippery slope things, and I really don't like it. I think Let's Plays are in no way harmful to the games industry. Like,
I think they're one of the best things. I mean, I don't really watch many of them. I don't really follow, like, any kind of YouTube gaming personalities, for lack of a better phrase.
Sure.
I really don't. But I think it's like when I was doing that, like, fucking 7 years ago for Ninja Gaiden, no one gave a shit because it was just a completely different time. I was actually talking to a friend of mine actually yesterday about this. He was one of the people that played it like alongside when I played it, and we were talking about like how different it was back then. Like it's not that long ago, but like in 2005 and 2006, like making a video of a game and putting it on the internet was a really unusual thing to do. Like hardly. I mean, I know like friends of mine at the time when like I told them about it. The biggest question was, well, why are you doing that? It's like, because I want to, like, because it's a hobby, like, whereas now, like, that's ridiculous to think that, like, it's obvious. I mean, like, as you said, people make a fucking living doing that now, like, and a damn good one, going by some of them. I mean, like, some of the Call of Duty guys, like, I don't really know many of them by name, but I think there was one, maybe when Modern Warfare 2 came out, that a couple of people at my university were talking, like they were like subscribed to him and like always watched his videos and stuff. And even when they were like watching it, he had like I think like 200,000 subscribers or something like that. Like a shit ton of like attention for just videos of Call of Duty.
Yeah,
that's all it was. It was videos of him playing Call of Duty and him talking about it. Whereas doing that like 7 years ago, it was just completely different. And it gets more people to notice your game. So
absolutely.
I mean, like, imagine if Activision pulled that with Call of Duty. Oh no, you can't make Call of Duty videos anymore. Like,
I mean, they're not going to do that because
they're not.
Again, another thing in this argument is obviously the difference between multiplayer and single player. Uploading single player is kind of a different thing. When multiplayer, you're just watching for the person who's playing, not watching for the actual game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, also Activision have already embraced that with like the Elite stuff, with like the stuff that allows you to just stream the fucking game from in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Nintendo don't know what they're doing, and someone needs to tell them to stop.
It just seems really odd that they would do that. That just seems.
I just feel like they've been misinformed on something and made a mistake.
Yeah.
I hope they go back on it because I really hope no one else follows their lead either because Let's Plays are good for the industry.
I don't see what they're big. I mean, what's the down? What is the supposed downside?
They get less money.
Yeah, but
like they get there's no downside. There's just an upside of suddenly we're getting a load of ad revenue.
I guess, yeah. I suppose that's it, really, isn't it? But it's just money.
It's stupid because people will still make the content. Like there'll still be people who are like play it, who don't care about earning money and just play videos and upload play the games and upload the videos in their spare time. Like I know I did that. I never planned to make money from my YouTube channel. I just uploaded videos because it was fun.
That's pretty much what I do. I mean, I still do videos.
But the people who have the hundreds of thousands of viewers, the reason they have the hundreds and thousands of viewers is because they've given up everything else to concentrate on that. You can only produce that kind of quality content that comes with the millions and millions of views. Yeah. If you like, that's your job effectively,
or like your sole hobby. I mean,
yeah,
like there's, it seems really kind of desperate in a way on Nintendo's part. Actually, like now that I think about it, it comes off as like really, really desperate. So,
Oh well. It's shitty. Hopefully it changes. We'll just have to keep an eye on it for now. And that's what I want to say.
What are the biggest like Nintendo related game channels though?
Chugga Conroy. There's a whole group of people called the Runaway Guys who do a lot of Nintendo stuff. They're quite big Nintendo fanboys. They're made up of Chugga Conroy, Proton John, although he isn't solely Nintendo, he does a bunch of other stuff. And who's the third one? It's, Nintendo Capri Sun. He's got fucking Nintendo in his name. And all he does is upload Nintendo games.
What do they actually do though? Like, what games do they like?
In the Runaway Guys, they basically did anything that has co-ops. They were doing like New Super Mario Bros. They were doing Mario Party. They were doing like Smash Bros. They were doing, I think they did some Zelda stuff. All Nintendo products, and they have a huge following. Like a lot of those guys have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and regularly get thousands of views.
Yeah. What's like the revenue sort of?
The revenue isn't huge. Like
on YouTube,
you get, I think it's like per 1,000 views you get a certain amount, but I really don't know what it is. Like it's enough that you can live off of it if you release like a video a day. But
yeah. It's like some of the like the really big YouTube like game personas, they do like multiple videos a day. It's not just one.
Yeah.
It's like it's like 2 or 3 a day. Like,
I follow I follow Lag TV, who are a StarCraft channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
And both they're a 2-man team, and both of them, one of them was unemployed, but the other one quit his job to do that full time. And all they do is one of them like streams pretty much daily StarCraft on Twitch and gets ad revenue through that. And they have regular uploads to like 2 YouTube channels, probably daily uploads, and they get enough to live off of.
I suppose if it's what you want to do.
Yeah, if you're able to do it and you get the opportunity, sure, why not take it?
Yeah.
Like they both know it's a fad, it's a thing that will last for a while, and they're gonna do it whilst they can, and then go back to whatever jobs they had before. I know one of them was in education.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that this will be the case in 10 years. Like,
yeah,
who knows what YouTube's going to be like in 10 years? But
yeah,
I don't want to think about that actually. What YouTube will be like in 10 years.
Loads of people like PewDiePie.
Who?
You don't. Just don't ever search PewDiePie or make your life a better place.
Okay. I won't do that.
Good.
Duly noted.
If you ever see anything with PewDiePie written on it, stay well away from it.
I will. Don't worry. You know, YouTube is like I pretty much only get like game related shit as my recommended stuff now, which is actually pretty good. I found some really good. I found one of, if not the best, like Tekken channels just by watching like Tekken videos on YouTube. Like this dude's a fucking genius when it comes to Tekken. He's like fucking Einstein or something.
Yeah.
I know that was like just by watching a lot of shit, and like the recommended thing actually had something good for once. It was like, hey, you might like this. And I clicked on it and was like, holy shit, I do like this. This is actually useful to me. This isn't just horse shit. The biggest thing that I don't like about like the recommended system is that like you can watch literally one video of something and like it will recommend you shit like related to it forever. Like it just never stops. It's like go away. But anyway, I think that about does us for this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's everything.
Cool. Well, that will do it for another week. And next week, John should be back with us. Right. So we'll get to see what he hasn't played because he's pretty much just doing. He's been doing exam shit, hasn't he? So.
Yeah.
He probably won't have played much. I really hope I'll have played Metro by the next time we record because goddamn, I can't wait to play that game.
I'll probably have played more Dark Souls, I hope. And also Starseed Pilgrim. I bought that, but I just need to find time where I can sit down and play that for like 3 hours without interruptions.
Yeah.
Work out what the fuck that game is.
I really want to like put away a load of time for Metro.
Yeah, I also want to. That's why I'm keeping it for the summer, I think.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Before we go, actually, I wanted to mention one more thing. Did you see the Steam trading card beta?
No, I didn't. I haven't actually been on Steam today.
Oh, I can send you a key for it if you like. They're pretty scarce. Like people were genuinely like trading like money / actual copies of games for these keys at one point because people were that desperate to get into it. But I ended up with the key shortly after signing up to the page, so they were clearly stupid people. But basically, it's a new system that they've kind of added to almost like not replace achievements, but kind of give a new way to achieve things in games. So basically, currently there are only like 6 games supported, and most of them are Valve games. But while you play these games, you will get random drops, like kind of like the Team Fortress 2 hats kind of thing, of these trading cards. And so there's a whole bunch of different games, and there's like 12 trading cards in each game, or is it 8 trading cards in each game? And once you get a full set of the trading cards, you can craft them into a badge. So you know the Steam badge thing.
Yeah.
So you can craft these into badges for the respective games. And when you craft the badges, you get bonuses, like you get profile page backgrounds. You get they're adding like emoticon things for chat and on the forums that you can only unlock through these badges. And there's a bunch of other bonuses. I think sometimes when you craft badges, you have a rare chance to win games and other like keys for games and other things. And it seems really cool. I mean, I kind of wish they hadn't gone with the badges and it just been, once you get the whole set of trading cards, you get the stuff. Like, because I would want to keep the cards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to have like a massive fucking binder of Steam trading cards that I can just like on your profile, people can just view your trading cards. That'd be cool. There's even once you've collected cards, I think you can get shiny versions of the cards later on and other stuff. So you can get shiny badges, which are identical, that are shiny, which makes them rarer. And so it's kind of a cute little alternative idea to achievements. I'm not really sure what the legs on it are, and also none of the games that you can get the cards from at the moment are games I care about, but they're going to keep rolling in new games as and when they've implemented it. So yeah, it seems cool. You should read up about it, see if it interests you. But I quite like the look of it.
Awesome. There is some last minute, well, it's an update really, I guess, as far as news goes. I'm just on Steam at the moment. And at the bottom, there's like a reminder. Dust comes out on Steam on the 25th of May. And did we miss that? Did we miss that PC
maybe.
version being announced? Because that rings a bell, but at the same time, I think this is the first time I've seen it.
I haven't heard anything about that.
I could have swore we did that. Anyway, yeah, that's fucking awesome. I'm totally going to buy that. It'll be an excuse to play that again. Which I don't really need to look too hard to find one of. But yeah, that will do us for this week. So until the 27th, which hopefully was in the next one will go up, thanks for listening. You can send us emails at themightyelectronicbox@gmail.com and Twitter at TMEBpodcast, I think. Is that right, Brad?
I blanked. What did you say?
The Twitter name. It's TMEB Podcast, right?
Yes, well done.
I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering that.
It's really simple.
I think that's probably why. That's probably why I have a hard time remembering it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you next week. Peace.